Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. After a win, believe it or not. So we've beaten Freo 55-65 at Optus Stadium. Our first ever win at Optus Stadium, and our first win since 2017 in Perth. Three pretty okay quarters and really one great quarter, the third quarter that really got the win. Now it's time to go through each player and see what I think they were out of 10. And for me, I feel like a lot of them are going to do pretty well. So it's going to be a lot easier for me to do this video this week than it was to do it a week ago after a loss to Collingwood in round 1. So let's get straight into it. Straight off the bat, I'm just doing it based on the positions on the ground. We're going from the back line, we'll go to the forward line. Back line, Battle, best game he's played in years. He had, I think, 13 marks, 7 or 8 intercept marks, which is a career high. I think over 20 possessions. Almost, probably BOG, I thought. He was phenomenal. I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. I think he was exceptional. We were missing Dougal Howard, and he stood up when he needed to. He intercepted, he punched, he threw his body on the ball, he tackled, he chased. His field kicking was great, over 70% efficiency. The perfect game from Josh Battle, 10 out of 10. Kell Wilkie was rarely beaten. I thought he handled lob pretty well when he was caught in a couple of one-on-ones. No issues there from Kell Wilkie, 8 out of 10. Darragh Joyce, filling in Dougal Howard, did what he needed to do. I thought that he, at times probably could have done more, but he kept it basic. He had 11 disposals and he went 90% efficiency. It was rarely outmarked and had 4 marks of his own. I'm going to give him probably a 7 out of 10. I don't really think he did too much wrong, although Dougal Howard probably comes back next week. Jack Sinclair, 25 possessions. I thought he was great in the middle of the ground. He played predominantly through the centre. Again, similar to last week, and to great effect. Was great going forward. Cut back into backline and supported when he needed to. Probably a 7 out of 10 as well. Dan McKenzie, not like a huge game, but what he did really well. He supported everyone really well. He always offers his chop out, his handball, running past, and his kicking was great. 19 possessions, 5 marks, ran all day, a couple of inside 50s. He's probably going to get, 7 out of 10 as well for me. I can't really fault him too much. Jimmy Webster, quiet game, 14 possessions. And obviously these ratings aren't based on just possessions. It's kind of what I think. I thought that he played on the smalls. I thought he kept them pretty quiet. Same with Ben Patton. And yeah, probably a 6.5 out of 10. Not his best game, but definitely not his worst. Brad Hill, 30 possessions, 70% disposal efficiency. To me, I know a lot of comments are going to come through and they're going to probably hate me for this, but I thought that he ran hard, he chased, he had 30 possessions, he's getting the ball in the right spots, and I think a couple of times we probably handballed to him under pressure, and that meant he had to rush a kick or he got tackled and it was holding the ball. But overall, he had, I think, 21 or 22 effective disposals. He was great off half-back. He obviously always offers an outlet, whether it's the right one or not, he offers an outlet. And his field kicking wasn't as bad as what people think. Controversially, I'm going to go a 7.5 out of 10. I was really impressed with Bradley. He defensively punched the ball a few times, tackled a few times. I don't know what much more people can ask for. I actually really enjoyed watching him today, despite a couple of turnovers, which obviously aren't great. But a player like him, he's got the luxury of going for the risky kicks, and they're not always going to come off. But the fact that he goes for them is great, and they'll come off more times than they don't. Jack Higgins, 10 out of 10. Could have had 5, could have had 6. Responded after last week. Can't fault his game. 16 disposals, 4 goals too, 6 score involvements, 5 marks, 4 tackles. And he really got us going with Max King in that third quarter. And, he was just consistent throughout the day and was a pest when the ball hit the ground. Nasiah Wanganeen-Milera on debut, 13 disposals. Couple of bad turnovers, but that's to be expected for a first gamer. Nervous in front of a big crowd, especially away from home as well. But he had a few really nice moments late, took a really good mark, and obviously set up Max King's sealer with a beautiful kick inside 50. Bradley Hill-like. So yeah, didn't do much wrong, in terms of a debut. A goal would have been nice for him, but yeah, I thought he actually put his body on the line, laid a few tackles, took 4 marks. And yeah, I was pretty happy with him, so I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Jade Gresham, again, stood up. Effective disposals, not great, but I think he just offered a lot of drive and that X factor that we need. And yeah, if you can just hone in on those disposals and get a bit better at that, he'll be very dangerous. But he's just getting some form now. 2 games back officially after an injury. It's just great to see Gresh out there. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Tim Membry, not his biggest game. No goals, 3 points. Worked hard all day, but his output wasn't great. And he didn't get a lot of the ball, so I'm going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. Ben Patton wasn't beaten, 16 disposals. He just quietly gets it done. You don't realise that he gets 16 disposals and 6 marks and does all the thing that he does, but he does it, and I can't, I think he played on Walters a bit of the time, and he wasn't beaten at all, and none of the real Freo smalls that were dangerous last week were any danger to us today. So I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. A quiet achiever there. Jack Hayes, not a huge game like it was last week, but again, he battled, and he's just got that workman-like effort that we love, and it's kind of infectious, and it makes everyone else want to work harder, and I think he worked really hard today. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Dan Butler, 10 disposals, kicked a goal, but he laid 6 tackles inside 50, and his pressure was really good in the attacking 50 for us, defensive 50 for Freo. But again, only 1 goal, 10 possessions, was quiet after halftime. I'm going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. If you can kick a couple more goals a week, great effort. 6 tackles is great, but obviously a small forward goals would be good too. But yeah, happy with Butler. But there is still more to his game that he's not getting out of himself, but obviously it's building, and hopefully next week against his old side, we can see the best of Dan Butler. Max King, 11 disposals, didn't do anything really in the first half, but he stood tall in the third, kicked 3 and then kicked the sealer, 4 goals, 1, 6 scoring involvements, and just created a massive focal point. Great contested marks. He had 4 of his 6 were contested marks. I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. So that's Higgins, Battle, and King. They were, to me, the 3 BOGs. Steele worked very hard. 23 disposals, 13 tackles. Not one of his best games. Similar to last week, his form hasn't quite hit the level of last year. But obviously, it's only round 2. But he always, if he's not having a big game in terms of possessions, he's always pressuring and tackling and chasing. And he did that today. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Seb Ross swam between the flags, 21 disposals, 85% efficiency. Didn't do much wrong, and kind of just got through the game unscathed. 5 clearances, 2 inside 50s, just good supporting act in the midfield when needed. I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. And Rowan Marshall, his quietest game in a while, 9 disposals. I'm not sure if he played the majority of the game off the ground or it was rotating with Jack Hayes. 26 hitouts, not bad. 1 tackle, 3 marks. Not his best game. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Brad Crouch really stood up, and I was impressed with him. He had a bad game last week, I thought, but I thought he was a lot better today. 29 disposals, 4 marks, 5 tackles, 3 score involvements. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 7.5 out of 10. And then you've got Jared Lynette, 18 disposals, 72% efficiency. I really enjoyed that he kind of wasn't afraid to go in the middle and take some risky kicks. I thought his field kicking was quite exceptional, and that might keep him in the team next week. If he keeps doing that, I don't see a reason why he can't play. I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Mason Wood, 14 disposals. Not his best game. I didn't really notice him too much, but he worked hard. I'm sure. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Ronnie Burns, 11 disposals. Again, quiet. I'm expecting more things from Ronnie. But, yeah, I'm just not clicking for him at the moment. I'm going to give him a 4.5 out of 10. He worked hard, but it just didn't quite click for him. And Cooper Sharman, medical sub, did not take any part in the game. And Brett Radden coaching, I'll do that. We only played really 1 good quarter of the game, so I still think there's room for improvement in terms of the coaching. It's good to see the third quarter and the way we played, but we want to see that for the majority of the game. And then the way we ended the game, got defensive again and let Freo try and win the game, and I don't want us to do that. I want us to go for the throat and go for the kill and win by more. And that to me is a coaching instruction, and I think we went the other way today. So Rats, we got the win. I think there's still more in the coaching box that we can do. But the win's a win, so I'm going to give Rats a 7 out of 10. But it could have been an 8 or a 9 if we really played more quarters and got more score on the board early. 2-7 at halftime was a bit unfortunate, but we got the reward in the third quarter, which is great. The premiership quarter, as they call it. So, yeah, that's it. That's what I reckon, guys. Comment your thoughts. Let me know what you think. That's my player ratings. And, yeah, we got the win. So that's it. Who cares if the player ratings are wrong? We got the win, and, you know, that's all that counts at this time of the season. 1 win, 1 loss. Now we go into the Richmond game with a bit of confidence. Hopefully get some players back from injury. Paddy Ryder would be a big one. Zach Jones would be a surprise. Billings a couple of weeks away. Hunter Clark the same. So we're slowly getting our best team on the park, and Highmore is still yet to get a game, and Cooper Sharman obviously can squeeze in at some point, would be really great. So yeah, hopefully enjoyed the video, guys. Leave your ratings below. I'd love to see them in the comments, and if you disagree, it'd be great to, you know, explain why and give me your ratings. And if you're a Saint and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, and you'll get all of this content and more every week in your feed. But until then, guys, take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your week, and go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.